Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Book Babble, where we obviously babble about books. We're continuing with Mist and Fury, Part 3, House of Mist. We found out Rhys and Feyre are mates. She dumped his ass in the snow and had Moore take her far, far away, and now she's at this cabin. And then she finds some paints, and she just just finally paints her little hearts out, all kinds of different little things that we come to find out represent the inner circle. Yeah. Yeah, and then once Moore gets there, Moore's eye gets added to it. And that's where we get our little that whole joke about Farrah being a bad painter. I still don't believe it. I still don't see how y'all get it. But Moore's a shitty painter because she's over here painting stick paintings compared to Farrah's masterpiece artwork, in my opinion. Yeah, page 512.
And then finally there's a knock on a door, and it's not Moore on the other side.
It's Rhys, my mate. My mate.
Oh man.
Mate, I'm so fucking tired
that
of
word.
Yeah,
that word.
I am over it. Mate and mine. Especially when they're in there and they're having their heated moment and they're just going back and forth. Mine. I'm like, learn a new word.
Right? Get a thesaurus.
Combine the two. My mate. Do something else.
And she always says stuff in threes, and it drives me nuts. Right. Once you notice it, you won't be able to not notice it.
Right, I haven't noticed that now, so
you're welcome. You're welcome.
The soup thing. So we find out that so when a female accepts the bond, that they offer food to the male counterpart, and it's even made into a celebration. But Feyre is given this man canned soup in this little shack. Because soup is good for the soul.
And I hate it because he tells this whole sob story too, and she gives him the soup at the end of it. Like,
but she pretends like she wasn't going to. Like, we all know you are, so stop.
She could have sprinkled some parsley on there or something. Just spruced it up a little bit for this guy.
Did she not? I thought she added some spices.
I don't think so. I think she literally boiled the soup.
It was like not even fresh soup. It was leftovers.
Yeah. She literally says, "Heat. I can't cook."
That's great. Oh, did we get into Rhys's story? God, it was such an info dump. Like,
yeah.
I sat there afterwards and I was like, how do I feel? Like, just take a moment to reflect on what the hell I just consumed, because the first half of it starts off with him in the war. I was like, how is this relevant?
I still don't kind of get how it's relevant.
I guess it's just supposed to be like the start of his hatred towards evil bitch.
Like, yeah, but every time I skip a good couple pages because I'm just like, okay, blah 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 blah.
Durian, High Lord. At that one time.
Yeah, and like that's not the point of this meeting. Is your battle history, sir?
Right.
Which I feel bad about, but
I know. But I mean, I guess it just leads into like how he ended up at the ball that she had, where something was in his drink, and that's how she siphoned the High Lord's powers and stuff. I guess it was like a setup for that. Again, it just felt like, why couldn't you have started there? Like, did she have to know about the other stuff?
I know. Like, how he had to listen to Jurian get, like, torn apart, and I'm like, all right. Changing my vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
he explains how they make a treaty and then the wall. I don't. It goes on a lot.
It does. Like, everybody else's little background stories has been, like, sprinkled throughout. Why couldn't we have had this?
Right. Oh, I know probably why I skipped this, because I just saw the word roared and I can't.
I was just looking at it. I was like, yeah, I'm not taking this serious when he says that.
There's the part coming up so soon where I was like totally into the scene, and then she writes this one line. I'm like, stop it. Shut up. Like, and it has to do with the word roared.
Oh, God. Yeah. From there, I got, like, really, what was it? It's where he was, talking about his time being under Amaran's control, and we find out that, like, his last bit of power, he just sent out and wiped everyone's memories.
You've never seen me before, bye-bye. Like,
I'm trying to think of, like, one of those, like, Disney or cartoon shows where you just see something happen, and then out of nowhere you have that, like, little ring of power go over everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but then he was like talking about servicing her, and there was this one sentence, and I don't know, I'm just too much of a psycho, but I didn't need these details. If I was your mate and you sat there and told me about how every time you were inside her and everything,
oh yeah, I think about killing her.
Listen, I know what you did under there. I didn't need to know that you pleasured her so well.
This is something for your therapist. This is not for me.
No.
I'm here to support you later on with boundaries, but yeah, stop telling me about you servicing this other woman.
Especially when like it was so great. You're boosting yourself a little too much, but it was so great, and then I you and it's not that great. I'm gonna be a little offended. Okay, like why did I get the egg?
I made her beg and scream, and I'm like, sir, stop telling me this. Like, yeah,
I'm too much of a psycho for that.
It was. And then he kind of does all the little like moments from ACOTAR that didn't really make sense, like her painting the dresser. Now we find out it's because he pushed the thought of open night skies and stars.
Right, and this is where I was like, oh, she could just throw anything into the bond, because now he's having visions of her, foggy visions of her. Is that something that happens to all of them?
Right? Or is this like a Rhys thing because he's so powerful? Who knows? I thought it was weird in the first... Was it the first book she talks about painting the dresser?
It was... well, we find out in this book why she painted what. And in this book, even fucking Nesta called it out and was like, that's why you painted the night sky on your dresser.
Yeah, it was one of my moments where I thought like, oh, that's kind of weird, because when she painted the flowers and she's like, I painted the flowers for Elaine, and I was like, but if you're supposed to end up with Tamlin, why aren't you flowers? And then when he says that, I'm like, oh, that's why. Okay.
It made sense. As soon as like we find out he's like the Night Lord, all the little things that kept drawing her to the night sky, the starlight pool, things like that, I was like, okay, I see where this is going.
We get it now.
But
we're just like Feyre before, but now we're getting it.
And what else? We find out he wasn't lying. I love that you know, his first words to her, there you are, I've been looking for you, and he really was.
Yeah. There's a lot about those parts that I liked, but then I think he also goes over... I thought this is when he covered... No, I'm wrong. Never mind. Skip me. I think that's a plot in the next story.
Oh, and then he talks about fucking poor Claire. And he's like, even Rhys was like, she had the knowledge to lie to me, but not the knowledge to give me a fake name.
Right.
This man is not allowed to feel guilty about this at all. This is 100% Feyre. This is all unfair. Feyre is like, Claire, the girl he's Stop it.
It's so true. Like, I just wonder if he had one of those moments that we all have about where our partner, where we're like, oh my god, they're dumb. I'm sure he probably went to that town thinking, like, there's gonna be no such person as Claire Bador. And then she shows up and he's probably like, what the fuck, Farah? Like,
That's exactly what it is. Like, damn, okay. So he broke
no.
into her head and was like, I'm gonna take all your pain away.
Mm-hmm.
And just scream when you're supposed to. Do better, Farah.
So, and then he just kind of justifies, like, how he kind of treated her under the mountain.
Right, we just basically
well.
get his POV of that time.
Yeah, and how he's jealous and all that. And then he had to service Amarantha again. That word. I had to service her.
Like it was a job. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel bad for dude.
I feel bad for him, especially when he feels her die. Oh, that was so sad.
Oh yeah, when he felt like the bond and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And then they brought her back.
Yeah, I kind of just read through all that super quick because I was like, yeah, I was there. I read it already. I know. Because she kind of felt the same way. Feyre had the same experience for the most part.
Right?
The way I read
and then, yeah, we really just find out that Mor knew. And then he knew that she was upset, Feyre, with, like, the Tamlin thing. That's why he saves her at the wedding day. And yeah, the soup finishes boiling, so she ladles it into a bowl. And just...
Yeah, her only thing is like, so you love me? Okay. Then eat up. But she just flings the soup at him.
She doesn't even say it back. She's like, then eat. Just eat. Like,
no, but she does after he eats, though. He's over here just eating, and he's just staring at her like, are you going to say something? Or are you going to just watch me eat? You're not. Are you even eating the soup? She's not even eating it, if I'm not mistaken.
She's not. And he's just, like, looking at the soup, looking at her, looking at the soup, like, so, like, are we good? Or...
It's like, I love you, too.
Right? Because even he's like, aren't you going to say anything?
I wasn't happy
like,
tears.
Oh, I loved you.
I was like, oh, finally, they made up. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then they fuck like rabbits.
And yeah, then the smut finally happens. He uses the paint. He's like, draws it downwards. I'm like, is this edible paint or...
Right, like if you're... I was thinking that, like, I 100% support it, do that, it's fun, but make sure you use the non-toxic and safe paint.
Yeah, if she's putting it on the walls, is it latex, acrylic? Sir.
Do not go get your apple barrel paint.
Yeah, I don't need a rash.
With that.
Oh yeah, and then at one point she's like got it all over his wings. I'm like, aren't they sensitive? What if, I don't know, can you get wing loss from this? I don't know, whatever.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, like, I don't know. I just didn't find it as spicy as the inn. Definitely not nearly as much as the
Corner Nightmare.
Yeah, because it was kind of like everything built up, and really, just finding out that they were mates was like what did it. Like, that was it. I don't need anything else from these two.
Right? And I just think, like, when she's like, I wanted the wall, I'm like, yeah, I kind of did too. This seems like a moment for a wall. And then when he didn't choose the wall, I was like, all right, we're going the romantic route.
And I don't understand that because, like I said, they continuously do it multiple times in the bathtub and everything else.
And the wall is there the whole time.
There's so many of them. Pick one, damn it. But it's not time for the wall, I guess. And I guess this is where, like, because then they one of the times that they're doing it, they decide to do it on like a fucking astral plane or their spiritual, like, because they've got the road between their two minds, and they're like, we're gonna meet in the middle and bang it out on Rainbow Bridge.
Oh, okay. So finally, page 553 is like why I can't take this scene seriously, and I used to love it, and I don't know, I just missed this sentence the first couple times I read through until I saw it on TikTok. But it says, Rhys roared as he came, slamming into the hilt. Outside the mountain trembled, the remaining snow rushing from them in a cascade of glittering white. And I'm like, He did not come hard enough or yell loud enough for an avalanche. Like, grow up.
It's the
Stop it.
echo. It's the echo. What do you mean?
I am so irrationally angry that someone told me this sentence exists because it tanked the whole scene for me. Because now I just wait for it. And I'm like, that's dumb. That is dumb. Never write that sentence again.
I agree. It just took me out. I no longer believe this is an actual scene.
Right. This book is really confused whether it's YA or new adult, and that is very firmly YA. Teenagers thinking that they can screw hard enough for avalanches. Like,
who knows? He is the most powerful here in the High Lord there is. I don't know.
No.
And they call him Bat Boy, so what if it's like one of those Sonic
Don't you
Thornray, whatever it's called.
Don't you start with me. It's not true.
I'm trying to find a good defense for my boy.
So bad. Oh my god, R.I.P. to that sex scene.
Oh yeah, okay. And then they just have like casual conversations. So like, what are you gonna call me, mate? Please don't. Please do not. I swear to God. I'm so sick of that.
He sure is. He's gonna call her mate 500 times, and she's gonna call him mate.
Good.
Yeah. And then what? They just they bang again, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and this time they have some like she glows bright.
Yeah, because
like
she's so happy.
Yeah. I bet. Okay.
And then
it's a nice little.
And then she has sex on top so that his sexual trauma can be resolved by this one bang session.
Yeah, I didn't even got any memory of that actually. Now that you've said it, I forgot.
That's how she solves his like systemic rapes by
no
Amaranth.
Therapy at all.
Cowgirl. Yeah. Reverse cowgirl saved his life. It's so bad. This guy gets like just no bones thrown to him.
And
then it's back. Yep.
What? What's back to what? Because like I said, casual conversations.
Oh yeah. Well, then they just kind of bang again.
Yeah, right. And they have a conversation about how like it's pretty natural after two people mate that they just want to rail each other for a few days.
Yeah.
I was like,
which like same. Every time I got a new boyfriend, I feel that.
No.
And then they go back to the Illyrian camp, and then Cassian decides to tease Rhys.
What did he say? That shit was so off. The Feyre doesn't look too tired. Maybe she could give me a. Why would he say that?
Hard ride.
So fucking out of pocket.
So rude. And then they fight.
Right, and it's played off as, oh, he knows I need to get out this pent up power or whatever. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right? Yeah. And then he comes back in and bangs her again. Just
and he makes everybody leave. And then it makes everyone leave so they can do it again. And then they come back downstairs and everyone's just like, yeah, we totally know what you just did. It's kind of like being at a party and going to a bedroom and then you come out and everyone's looking at you because they know what you just went in there and did. No.
Yeah. I remember reading it the first time and being like, oh my god, they're so obsessed with each other. But the second or third time, I'm like, that is so awkward. Just everyone out, we're gonna fuck. Right. Get out of here.
But then they're going back to the sisters' estates because the queens have contacted them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moore does her. They show the thingy.
Right. They give them Valeris and I don't know. Them bitches were up. They are working with the bad guys, especially after we will discuss amongst our companions and inform you at our leisure, page 551.
I don't know. Them bitches are shady.
They were. And it upsets me that Rhys and nobody fucking sensed it. More you miss truth, bitch, and you just can't tell that their words are lies.
Okay, right? You're the one who's like, yeah, okay, I guess we have to show them Valeris, but you can't use however your power works to just realize that they lying?
Yeah. Which I guess it didn't matter because, like, that one queen, she drops it for him.
And I hate it because I think this is where Mor, like 550 is where Mor uses her powers, and I still don't get it.
Well, maybe.
Because she's using the orb.
Yeah, but it
And
just
then,
shows them what Valeris is.
but that's the orb doing it. She's just like, truth is deadly, truth is freedom. I am the Morgan, you know I speak the truth. Like, what?
Yeah,
Or
because
more.
even after they showed them the orb, they're like, "How do we know this isn't manipulation? Like, are you fucking kidding?"
Fucking Nesta. I love her.
Yeah, she got stuck.
And then she even asked to please.
And I was like, "Yep, they're gonna be mates."
When
Cass
Cassie and her,
Nesta, yeah. I'm
they
sorry
have
they
their
put
little
so
moment.
much attention on these two in this like moment.
I loved it though.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, if I needed something to keep me going, it's gonna be these two.
It's like him wiping the tear away and she doesn't flinch away. I'm like, oh yeah, it's on.
They're the real lovers or enemies to lovers.
Oh my 100%.
But yeah. And then the fucking queens just dip out. And then that's when it's revealed that the book was there. So.
And the book is insane.
Oh, wait, so Nesta
Literally.
didn't call that shit with the why you painted the night stars on the drawer before Rhys told her. She said it afterward at this visit. Yeah. But still, Nesta didn't need nobody to fucking tell her.
No, she's not dumb.
She took one look at Rhys and Feyre there and she was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I think Nesta is the smartest one out of all of them. Because, like, Rhys might be 500 years old, but he didn't see this, betrayal coming, but he can't trust Tarquin, etc., etc. But Nesta calls everything. She's like, yep, I knew it. Like, like beady little eyes don't miss anything.
Right, everything just happens so fucking quick at the end. But I from what I've been told, that's kind of like Mouse's like thing is that
her bread and butter. Yeah,
I hate
the last 100, 200 pages are just like, it's so bad in Crescent City because I think the first 2 books are 700-800 pages, and for like 1,400 of them, you're in this bitch's apartment, and the other like 400 pages, you're like, holy shit, what is happening?
They go back to Valeris.
Yeah.
And this shit really pisses me off. So just like I just you should have trusted Tarquin. Tarquin wouldn't have snitched your ass out.
No.
Because it takes like what, 2 days before the attack happens?
Yeah. Against Valeris, I think, right?
Yeah. They attack Valeris.
They attack Valeris. Yeah, I think the other attack I'm thinking of happens in the next book. Oh yeah, and this is where the Adder drops the body of that queen, the one that gave them the book. Yeah.
And it doesn't traumatize her this time because, Feyre's a new girl. Okay, she's not like her.
She's a bitch boss now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all that training comes into hand. But I will say, like, once the attack happens, like, okay, I understand Feyre needs to be there to observe, so we have POV of what's going on, but I need this bitch to do something. Again, it's just do something other than stand around.
And then she's got water wolves that come out.
Eventually, yeah. So her first thought, she's like, Artist Alley, and starts running there. And then she comes up with water wolves out of everything. You are picking water wolves?
I was like, bitch, you got fire! Like, do a fire tornado or something.
It just didn't make any sense. I mean, I heard thoughts of, like, freezing their wings, or wetting their wings and then freezing them. That was fairly clever.
That's good. Yeah.
But out of all of the powers, I mean, I guess maybe because they're just right there at the water, and water's already been one of the powers that she's been practicing with, and, the ice and stuff from back when they were on the ice. Oh, wait, no, wait, that's the next one. I'm
I
sorry.
think because of the summer court, you mean?
Yes, that.
Also, it was so rude of her when, like, Rhys is trying to touch base with her and just be like, where are you? Clearly just wants to know she's alive, and that's when she remembers to put her wall up and just not talk back to him, like,
And why
until
couldn't
the very
she?
last second.
I didn't understand that. Like, why not tell him, hey, I'm over here, I'm good, da da da.
Yeah.
What, you think he's gonna just dart straight to you? Probably.
She's not like, hey, I'll see you at the rainbow. She's like, I'm exactly where I need to be. I would have been like, bitch, what does that mean? Where are you? Location.
Yeah, there was no need to stress that man out like that. Just tell him where you are. And then she, like, takes out the otter so badass, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty good. She, like, really hated this thing. She finally absolutely murders him. He goes spluck on the sidewalk.
Alright. And they should have just done that to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know why they were like, oh, we'll let him go and let him deliver a message. Like, this is the guy who's done terrible things to your mate. You should have killed him a while ago. Other people can deliver messages.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like,
Send a fucking letter, okay?
right?
Do that
You
little
can send
magic
letters.
letter thing you did with Tamlin, alright?
Or send a mental image. Like, that's your bread and butter. Who knows?
Well, maybe he couldn't do that because Hybern's got like some kind of shield of his own and wouldn't be able to receive it. Maybe.
He's the most powerful High Lord. There's a like couple things in this book that does annoy me. Like, he's so powerful except for tiny little things that would just like make the plot too easy.
Right. He's only powerful when we need him to be powerful, okay?
Yeah, just when he's, you know, exploding entire fleets. But delivering a letter, that's not in his repertoire.
That's out of my skill set.
That's true. I didn't cover that day in school. Like, but they finally all meet back up. Amryn clears up the whole city, basically. A come to Jesus moment. Everyone stay inside because Amryn's going through the city and slaughtering everyone later. I was like, this is from the Bible.
Right? Does Amryn not have any kind of control over her power after she uses it? Like, does she need some fucking siphons?
And don't they put, I swear to God, they like rubbed blood on the doors. I remember reading it and being like, this is from the Bible. You stole this story.
What?
Maybe I just made that up.
That.
I could have made it up in my head. But... yeah, I think I deadass just made that up. I'm like looking through the pages.
Like, where is it at?
I like that she held like half a city on her own and the rest of them had to figure out the other half, but she's just like pointing at people and they're dying.
Just head explode. Oh, yeah.
And every time I read that sentence, all I picture is that meme going, illusion.
I don't know if I know what that one is.
Oh, it's like a gif and I'm dead. It's like this little toddler just being like, illusion.
Okay.
I think it's actually at the end of a 911 call. And it's like, this girl's babysitting and Connor went to magic camp so she can't find him and she's getting more and more frantic and then he pops out of somewhere and she's like about to lose it and the 911 operator's like, calm down, what's wrong? She's like, you don't get it. He's not like other kids. He went to magic camp. And then just as she's about to absolutely lose it, he busts out of a freezer. She's like, you made it alive in there. And he's just like, illusion.
Okay.
I find it hilarious. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that one. But I'll take your word on it.
I'll find the link. And then they come up with the plan to go to Hybern.
Right, Hybern knows where they are. They're just gonna have to go do this. We're speeding it up. We were already going 80. Now we're gonna be going 110.
Yeah.
And then they jump from that to, okay, this is how we're gonna nullify the cauldron. Amryn's staying back, and Amryn literally tells her, "Do not put the books together." And my first thought was
loud and clear.
Right, and my first thing is, well, knowing Feyre, she's gonna put these books together.
Put the books together. She's like a really badly behaved toddler.
I'm telling you.
You're like, don't do that, sweetie, you'll burn your fingers. And then they do it, and they're like, wow, I burnt my fingers. And you're like, yes, I know.
And then we get the little lore on Rhys's mother's ring that she put it in the Weaver so that way if his wife was good enough.
Yep. To get this ring. That was so rude.
Right, and then they do something. They leave it off so very like they're gonna run down to the chapel and get married, basically, kind of thing. You know, it's very like, what are you guys up to? That's what I was getting at. But it doesn't ever tell us what it is until like the end of the book.
Yeah, later.
But we know something's there.
They do something.
Right, and then and then they get to Hybern.
It sounds really pretty, to be honest.
It's not decapitated, but it's falling apart.
It's a lean, crumbling castle of white stone. But you know what? Once upon a time, I bet it was pretty pimpin'.
Right. I mean, for it to be white stone.
But he lost all his slaves, and he had to start paying people, and that can really hit your pocketbook.
All right,
so
we can't
he's
afford to fix
struggling.
No wonder these people are bitter. No one's gonna try. I mean, if they have no one trading with them or no one, they're outcast and everything.
And they lost their free labor. No one will help them. I'd be pissed.
What is it? They're in the middle of this room and the cauldron. Do you picture the cauldron like a regular size cauldron or like just a giant? Because it says giant, but for some reason I still can't picture anything
thought it was
bigger.
A pot.
Yeah, other than
I thought
just
it
like
was a little pot.
So when they talk about push, okay, maybe not there yet. But when things happen, I'm just trying to picture
how would they fit?
It's a tiny pot.
Yeah, I thought this thing was like a little pot.
Yeah.
And they were staring around. And they should have known something was like suspicious about it. So they have to get in through this castle. They go through this dungeon, and then it's just there, sitting all nice on top in the center of the room, atop a small dais or dais. However you say it.
I don't know. I skip that word when I'm reading. I know what it's talking about, I think.
Right, and it's just sat there, no guards, nothing. Like, that's suspicious, but it doesn't slow them down, of course.
No.
Because like calls to like your favorite.
It's calling to her. And it's funny, okay, so the cauldron is supposed to be where life touched or whatever, that's the center of the map. But then it's telling you that the cauldron was absent and present, darkness and whatever the darkness had come from, but not life, not joy or light or hope. This thing sounds like a bad juju.
It's bad juju.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% bad juju. And then Feyre puts the books together.
Of course she fucking does.
Of course.
She becomes like electrocuted and can't fucking move. She's allowing the book tell her what to do.
Yeah, the crazy book and the mean one.
Like, you've already realized this book has got evil vibes and that no good can come from it. You were told not to fucking do it. And then you did. You listened to the evil book.
That's on them, though, because they really let this 19-year-old girl think, like, she was the be-all, end-all. And there were so many adults in that room who should have been like, we should not give her this important job on the first time go.
All right, that's why y'all all got fucked up. That's why you all got y'all's ass beat.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, then Jurian's here.
I know, this guy. They already resurrected him. I don't know, I thought he was pretty... I think I started actually rooting for him, but I don't think it was in this book.
No, it's not till like midway through next book where I'm like, okay, I get it. I kind of, I don't know, found him a little boring in this book. Like,
right,
I know he's there to foil the plan.
Right, well, he's portrayed as big bad, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's been a few characters where they're like described as like this horrible, terrifying person, But no one's ever really living up to that. Evil Bitch did. The Bone Carver, or not the Bone Carver, but the Weaver, kind of creepy. But everyone else has been like, oh well, they're not that scary. I don't know. Y'all are just a bunch of pansies.
I have a theory that Azriel and Moore are fated mates and didn't accept their bond.
Why?
And it's literally because when Jurian like shoots that ash bolt through Azriel's chest, Moore just like loses it.
Oh yeah, because he tells her. Well, and I thought it was interesting that because Jurian says you were always a liar, Morgan, whatever her fucking name is. And then that happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like their eyes have always been following each other while they're out, but we obviously know that she's not into him that way.
Well, he's just sad. He is sad emo boy.
He big sad.
I can love you.
I would love him so hard. Yeah. But yeah, that is my theory. When she started talking about fated mates not getting their bond, I was like, oh my god, what if it's Az and Moore and then this next pair? Yeah, that's my hope. That's my hope for book 6. Yeah, it'll be 6.
I don't know. I would love for it to be Az. I just need his story. I need to know. This man deserves love.
He does. He does. And
watch
he's been
him
so
end up
over.
I just like watch the entire fucking thing. What if it just ended with not knowing? That'd be a cruel joke. I don't think she would do that. I don't think she could restrain herself from doing that. But if she did, I'd be like,
I would send her
girl.
glitter bombs. The kind where you open it up and it just goes all over. That's the kind. I always get super annoyed too because I think this is where doesn't Hybern come in really shortly? No, Tamlin.
Well, Tamlin comes in last. Hybern comes in first.
And we still don't know his name. It's the king. Yeah, and then Tamlin comes, and you just know the plot's gonna get so much worse.
Right, nothing really happens other than, people are getting hurt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
After Az gets the arrow on him is when Tamlin shows up.
This part, like, a lot of stuff happens, but then also kind of felt like it dragged a little bit, because you're just like, it's gonna go super poorly, but how?
The fucking Hybern just sitting there talking the whole time.
Yeah, monologue.
He's doing the typical evil bad guy thing. Like, let me tell you my entire plan. This is what I've been doing. Let me stroke my ego.
Yeah. And then the sisters gotta go in the pot.
I will give Tamlin and them credit that they're not the ones that snitched out the sisters. So it was fucking Ianthe's bitch ass. But I wonder, did she do that before? Nope, because that shit happened in the next book too.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She's just evil. Don't know what you're talking about. She's just bad. Nesta goes into the pot first, right?
No, Elaine does.
Elaine does?
Elaine goes in first.
Yeah.
Elaine goes in first.
That's gotta be hard for her.
Right. It's gonna be hard for both of them. They just basically got every choice ripped from them.
But Nesta had her finger.
Yeah,
Nesta had the angry finger. She was ready. Elaine's never had to do shit, and then she's got to go in this cauldron first. Like, that's gotta be rough for her. And then we find out that Lucian is her mate now.
How, like, Lucian, you couldn't have timed that so much better. Like, here is fucking Rhys taking his delicate time to tell Feyre, and this woman just goes through some traumatic ass shit. Her life's just been turned upside down, and the first thing you say to her is that.
Right? I also wonder if it just won't ever snap into place unless they become Fae. Because, like, Rhys knows about Feyre, but doesn't snap in until she's Fae and change. And now Lucian, like, doesn't know, but then she comes out of the pot, and he's like, oh my god, it's you.
So, like, Lucian did try to stop the King of Hybern from throwing her in there. And even Tamlin tries to do something, which is more effort than he ever did under the mountain. I was like, okay, good for you. Now you want to do something.
Yeah, I
A
guess
little
that little
too
bit.
late. Someone cue JoJo up. It's a little too late. I mean, fucking Christ. People's timing's horrible. Then Nesta goes in, and she comes out.
Yeah. I love that in the middle of all this, though, Feyre just vomits on the floor.
Oh my gosh. She's like, oh my god, what did you do to my sisters?
Just spews everywhere. I would hate to be her teammate. I would just be there like, buddy, keep your fucking cool. You are losing it.
Well, because
Oh, no.
I mean, they all realize they are fucked. They
Like,
don't know what's gonna
you're
happen.
fucked. You know you're fucked, but it's kind of like, I don't know, I've been in some situations where things have gotten like out of hand fast. You don't just go like, man, I've got explosive diarrhea from this guy's, excuse me, you know? Like, you keep it together until you get home and then you're like, holy shit, I'll see you guys later. Honestly, it's like a trip hazard. What if you gotta run, but your vomit's there and now it's slippery? Like, come on.
Self-sabotaging the whole team, bro.
Lucian does the whole "you're my mate," and Nessa's just like, absolutely not.
Shut
No,
your mouth.
get out of here, Satan, go away.
Right, and then Rhys is trying to like, I'll take a bargain if you're handing them out.
And then this is where she launches her little plan.
Right, and she's like,
Right.
just no. Why aren't you telling him through the brain or the bond thing? I would think. I mean, is it nullified? Because I thought like their powers might have gotten nullified at one point. Is what it was.
Okay, yeah, it was for a little bit, and then she goes. I can't even picture it in my
Somehow
head.
Feyre gets hers to work a little bit. I know that because she's like
curse breaker, spell breaker sort of thing. Some day court.
the little glowing ball thing.
It's one of those things that works because it's the plot and it has to.
Right, I don't know. I just know I went through some fucking emotional turmoil for no damn reason. Because I was like, oh, did this bond break? Did it not break? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
no, they just got together.
I was ready for our main character to die, so I was stressed this whole time. I was like, we're losing. Someone's dying. Like, Az is not coming out. Cassian. Someone.
I thought it was going to be Cassian.
I thought Az. He got an ash arrow with blood being like through the chest. I was like, oof. It's not a good look for you, buddy. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have been happy with someone dying. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. No.
I would have been happy, but very unhappy. But it would have made sense. But instead, she just pretends like she's been under Rhys's power this whole time, and you know, Chris has finally broken that spell on her.
Like, Feyre couldn't keep her shit together beforehand. Now she's just like a really good actress.
Right?
Because...
And what happened to the smell thing? Like, they weren't supposed to be around each other because you could smell it right away. Their scents merged when they were banging like a couple chapters ago, but...
Well, it is called out. I think the King of Hybern is the one that had called it out. And then he was like, oh, I can break this bond. And everyone was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And she was like, well, we can pretend like he does. Like, I'm sorry, you people are of this world. Y'all know mated bonds better than... Why didn't y'all call bullshit? Especially fucking Tamlin at the end and everything. Lucian, my boy Lucian ain't as dumb as he looks, because
Tamlin is high on the Delulu. That guy just really wants Feyre back.
He thinks he's won. He's got his little princess back. He's happy.
Because really, he doesn't know about anything. The cabin, like none of that stuff. So he's just like, damn, Farrah's been held hostage. I need to save her. And he thinks he's doing it. He's like, she's going to be a little pissed at me over the sister thing, but like, we can come back from that.
And this whole time, like, Feyre's talking to Rhys through this bond, but he's not once ever said anything back to her, and I think that's so fucking rude. Like, she's over here like, I hope he can hear me. Oh, please, God, get my sisters out of here. And it's just crickets on the other line.
He's probably also like, bitch, stop talking. Like, every time they talk mentally, it strengthens their bond, and we gotta pretend it's broken, and you're just over here like, now you're chatting with me? Not when I'm flying back and Valeris is being attacked, but now? Tara is not great at this plot and shit.
No, she's got some loopholes there.
She is firmly flying by the seat of her pants this whole time. I love that it's just a tattoo removal at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, it didn't do anything,
And
really, besides
I
I think he would not have to kidnap her for a week.
right, and fucking Tamlin just rips her glove off. I'd be so fucking annoyed at him. She's like, I nearly gagged on his scent. She called this man smelly.
Oh god, yeah. So mean. Like, he thinks he's saving you. She's the only one that knows she's done with Tamlin, and she is relentless in her head against him.
Yeah, I can't feel bad for him. Right this second, anyways. Then they let Rhys and the gang leave.
Yeah, and then really, that's when they go back to the townhouse, and Rhys spills the beans, right? On that, she's now High Lady.
Yes.
But I also kind of love that Amaran's like, she's your mate, not a spy. What are you doing? Go
She's
go
my
get her.
spy and my mate. And then it's just like, oh, well, she has a tattoo on the other hand. We switched hands.
Does she? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
If they had removed the other glove, they would have seen a second tattoo on her right arm, the twin to the other, inked last night when we crept out, found a priestess, and swore her in as my High Lady.
I don't know why, but I thought it was like a tiny little thing. But yeah, it does say right there, the twin to the other. I pictured like a tiny little 3-mountain star with some stars over it.
Not even that.
Dead ass copy.
Yeah, it's just like the other one on the opposite hand.
How pissed do you think Tamlin was? Because it's never written, but obviously he saw it at one point, because she doesn't wear gloves the whole time.
Well,
At some point, he would have been like, that bitch has another tattoo.
That was my thought, is won't they find her other tattoo eventually? I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Keep a glamour on it all the time? And kind of seems stupid. Like, he's not gonna be able to see past that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Lucian knows this whole thing is just shit, though.
he does. He calls it out like, oh, all of a sudden, you're cool. I'm a mated man now.
How'd you break free of his control? Like, you just picture massive bitch face the whole time.
Right. He's eyeing her like something was fishy, but he didn't know exactly what. I don't know. I think part of him was like, you know what? I'm pissed too. Tamlin allowed my mate to be fucking janked up, and it's always about him and his bitch. What about my bitch?
Right?
Just be like, I'd be mad too. You know what? Fuck him. We find out Feyre is the first High Lady. Which kind of fucked up. So, like, there's never been another High Lady. So, like, did the thought.
But it's also contradictory, because he at one point had said there can be High Ladies, or there have been High Ladies earlier in, like, part 1, I want to say.
Well, so maybe she's not the first one.
I don't know. I think this is, like, one of those things where the author kind of forgot she wrote that.
If she was the first High Lady, then does that mean, like, no one's ever seen their other partner as, like, an equal? They all had these horrible, like, less than marriages?
But, like, the Autumn Court, they're mates.
There's a lot and that bitch is miserable. Do you not know her husband is Baron, whatever his name is?
But that's pretty much it.
The last words is, and so Tamlin unwillingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into the heart of his territory. I was like, damn, I'm excited. I hope the next book is good. And then we get to the next book, and I'm like, okay. I was vibing hard with the first half. And then after that, you know, it was kind of just what it was until the High Lords meeting, and then I was like, hell yes, buddy, I don't like you, but that was slick. I give you that.
That High Lords meeting is, like, some of the best insults I've read in a while. Usually they do, like, banter back and forth in books. I'm like, okay, this seems lame. This seems like an 8-year-old wrote this. But, like, there were no punches pulled. It was so good. No. I think we covered everything. This is definitely my favorite book of the series.
So far it is until I finish Silver Mist, but I mean I've read a good chunk of that so far to where I'm like,
Oh yeah, that one's good. That one is very good.
alright,
And it's a better split of like there's fantasy and romance pretty equal throughout the whole thing.
I will agree that. You want to say it this time?
I don't have it memorized. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you all for Court of Wings and Ruin.
Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the
Yeah.
next one. Okay. Bye.
Bye.